All right, so those who are joining, hi, my name's Noelle. I'm the host of Creepy Confidential. For those of you who are randomly coming in, I have hit the road and I'm on a trip here to St. Louis. I did a collaboration today with Toxic Icon Podcast, which their studio is based here in St. Louis. So it was fun to hit the road from Columbus and then join over here. So we got to do a fun episode about the paranormal, which I love talking about the paranormal. I think I have enough cases and pieces of information and just instances in time within investigations that allow me to talk about it for once and to tell people the stories about what I've experienced. And it just I told a story that I've probably talked about a million times, and it was fun to literally get goosebumps from them. So if you're joining in, I want to talk about the paranormal and kind of what I went over, not what I went over there because I don't want to give anything away, but I have lots of other stuff that I never got to talk about today. So I've kind of thinking about what I want to do for the next episode here at Creepy Confidential, and I think I really want to cover the fathers of paranormal, and because there's not just one, they're all at different times throughout our history, and they've done different things. There's some of them everybody knows, like you hear about Hans Holzer. If you are within the paranormal community, the guy's written over 120 books. He's not with us anymore, but he was just pumping out material on teaching about the paranormal, and that's just so important and more people need to know about. And then covering some of the other, I'll say the other founding fathers, like Charles Fort. And he is, interesting enough, a tidbit. And if you're coming in, thank you. Hi, please tap the screen so we know that you're there. And I'm just chatting about the fathers of paranormal. I think this will be just a fun conversation since I had my notes ready today. I'd like to talk about it. So Charles Fort, right? When anybody hears the term Fortean, it describes the paranormal. So ghosts, aliens, anything that is paranormal. Literally two things. Charles Fort would be the reason why we use that word. So he had somewhat of a cult following that was really into the same things that he was into. He wanted to know more about the paranormal. They said for over 30 years, he would go to the London Library and the New York City Library, and he would just spend hours and hours and hours taking notes. And that was also, I feel like I'm taking a card from that card catalog, and I do the same. I write so many notes about everything, and this is just as an example. By the way, handy dandy notebook, people get to see it in person, but I just take notes about everything that I learn about and study about. So I think that Charles Fort is a really important part of that, because he also wrote another kind of a super famous book, and it's called The Book of the Damned. But it's not what you think. It's not like all devils and demons and things like that. The Book of the Damned was actually about the damned data. So things that the regular science did not take. So anything, so ghosts, aliens, anything paranormal was where he wrote that book. And it was a hit. It was an absolute hit. And if anybody who knows me knows Creepy Confidential, we have the Creepy Confidential Library, and that is a book I would absolutely love to have. And I looked up for a copy of that, for the copy, like one of the original ones. It's $2,500, so I will be having to find a different version of that book. But I really would like a copy of that book, and so that you can learn about it. So his cult following, he wasn't a cult leader, but it's kind of like he has a cult following. They were called the Forteans. So that is where, when we hear learning about Fortean activity, that's where it came from, was Charles Fort. And I think that not a lot of people necessarily know where the Charles Fort created the Forteans, and that's where it came from. So I would really like to dive into that subject, I think, and to learn more about that, because old school, right? Because he was from early times. And then Hans Holzer was a little bit more kind of in our time, and he was super well known for being part of the Amityville investigation. Now them, and then you have the Warrens, and I have a feeling, I haven't confirmed this, but I have a feeling that those two were kind of battling for the fame for that investigation, because one did a book. You know, they talked about it, and I think the Amityville horror book is obviously based on the Amityville murders, and that'll be interesting to dive into that. So I kind of want to put that all into one. But he also published a study on paranormal photography, which is really also a big part of the paranormal world, even though a lot of it was debunked. Oh my gosh, a lot of it was debunked. So that whole double exposure, people figured out how to dupe their patrons. Even Lady Lincoln got one of those pictures. And then I also want to cover Harry Price. I think I'm going to cover the trio. So Harry Price was a psychic researcher, and is technically the first person to use the term ghost hunter. And that's because of his books, Confession of a Ghost Hunter. Even though he was from, the early 1900s, 1930s, I think is when he was around. Price may not be the oldest to say that they used that book or that term, but it's definitely, he's the one who made it famous. He made it super famous. And he knocked out fraudulent claims, all kinds. If you were saying that you were a seance, medium, or you would do the photography, Harry Price was all about debunking. And I think that brought credibility to the ones that were real, the mediums who were really figuring it out, and they could see things, or they knew where things were. Then the photography that was real, Harry Price was able to make that more important because he could debunk so much. So if you're coming in and out of here, I'm just kind of talking about what I want to talk about in my next episode here on Creepy Confidential podcast about the weird and unusual, and just kind of going over some paranormal notes. If you're here, if you could tap the screen so that we know that you're there. The hearts, of course, just let me know that people are actually here with us, so that would be pretty cool. If you could just give a couple little taps, that'd be awesome. So Harry Price, was another big one. He debunked William Hope, which was one of the paranormal photographers. He was kind of also able to dupe a lot of his patrons into that. And then with that, William Hope also covered Ava Carey. Now, or Carey is probably more likely how it's said. She was naughty. She was very naughty. She didn't just show up to a seance and then say, I can see the spirits. She would have all kinds of interactions, if you get my drift, with her patrons pre and during, and trying to take advantage of that kind of erotic sense of what ghosts and whatnot were doing. So that was, she was naughty pants. She was kind of nuts as well, in my opinion, just reading apart. She would demand that a digital exam of her lady parts was performed pre and post seance. So again, not sure what that's all about. I think they were looking for the ectoplasm, because legit people would put that in places all over the place just to make it appear that a ghost ectoplasm was coming from somewhere. So he was also part of that. Harry Price was like, this is crazy, this is nuts, and really worked hard on debunking kind of these potential charlatans within the business, so that they can make the bigger ones come to light. So I think those are the three. I'm going to cover those three. I'm going to say that those are the fathers of the paranormal. These are just things I didn't get to chit chat about today that I was really had prepared for, and then some of the things in the future cover more paranormal. So I'm hoping the rest of my trip here in St. Louis is we're just going to have hopefully a nice dinner with the people of the Toxic Icon camp, and then the Coven of Screams camp, /GhouliCon camp, so that we can all hang out, just chill, have some food and chit chat about our podcast together. If you happen to tune in too, so I'll probably put this up later, you can go to creepyconfidential.com. We'll make sure that as soon as their episode is ready, we'll share it and post it, of course, on our features page over at creepyconfidential.com. And I think that's pretty much it. That's all I have for today. I just wanted to try and make sure that we were saying hello from St. Louis. We did get to go to the Arch today, which I think is a lot bigger in person. I feel like there's a joke in there. That's what she said. That's what he said. But we got to see it, which was, got to take some pictures of it, which was awesome. I'm hoping to put another picture or two over up on our Instagram page. So if you are walking around St. Louis and you happen to see, real quick before I go, because I know I'm going to put this over onto our YouTube page as well, because I'll download this. If you see one of these, right, our stickers, or if you see one of these, the 3D logo, take a picture of it with you next to it, and we will send you a swag bag. It's got to be worth it, right? Totally got to be worth it. They're in various places, everywhere from Ohio to St. Louis. So, and I'm hoping to get a couple more put around so that we can send you guys some free swag. Everyone loves free swag. Hopefully, I'll start to see a couple of those pictures coming in. So, thank you for hanging out with me. This afternoon, sun's getting ready to set. It's real pretty here in St. Louis. And I will keep everybody posted for when that collaboration episode is out. And I know that there is a kind of a creepy promo coming, not on my channel, but I'll post it, don't worry, because you may hear a familiar voice. Just to put it out there as a little teaser and see if you can guess who she is. So that's it. That's all I have for today. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Get out there, read a book, get in the sun, learn about something creepy, and then come tell me about it over on our Instagram. All right, guys. We'll catch you later.